Imagine a world where the information you access, the opportunities you see, and the decisions made about you are all influenced by data. Now, what if that data discriminates against you? Welcome to the realm of data discrimination, a subtle form of bias that often goes unnoticed but has far-reaching effects. It's a bias that originates not from humans, but from the seemingly impartial algorithms that process our data. These algorithms are like the invisible hands that shape our digital world, quietly guiding everything from the news we read to the ads we see. Let's dive into the heart of this issue. Data discrimination occurs when these algorithms, despite their mathematical nature, produce results that are skewed or discriminatory. This might sound strange. After all, algorithms are supposed to be neutral, right? But here's the catch. These algorithms are created by humans, and humans, knowingly or unknowingly, can impart their biases into these algorithms. The data used to train these algorithms can also reflect societal biases, which the algorithms then learn and perpetuate. Consider the sectors of finance, employment, and healthcare. In finance, algorithms decide who gets a loan and who doesn't. In employment, they filter out resumes and decide who gets a job interview. In healthcare, they predict who is at risk of certain diseases. When these algorithms are biased, they can lead to discriminatory outcomes. They can limit opportunities for certain groups, exacerbate social inequalities, and even put lives at risk. Data discrimination is like a silent player in the game of life, subtly influencing the opportunities and obstacles we encounter. It's not something we can see or touch, but its effects are very real. It's in the job you didn't get, the loan you were denied, or the health risk you weren't warned about. In a world increasingly driven by data, it's crucial to understand how data discrimination can impact our lives. As we move forward in this digital age, we must strive to create algorithms that are not just efficient, but also fair. Because in the end, data should serve us all equally, without bias or discrimination. Consider this. A job applicant is rejected not because of their qualifications, but because of an algorithm. It sounds like a plot from a science fiction novel, doesn't it? Yet this is a reality in our world today, where data-driven algorithms play a significant role in the hiring process. Let's unpack a real-world example of how data discrimination can occur in employment algorithms. Imagine you're a job applicant. You've polished your resume, you've prepared for potential interview questions, and you've put your best foot forward. Yet, before your application even reaches a human eye, it's assessed by an algorithm. This algorithm is designed to filter out unqualified candidates based on certain criteria. But here's the catch. These algorithms are not infallible. They are created by humans who, knowingly or unknowingly, can incorporate their biases into these systems. For instance, if an algorithm is programmed to favor applicants who graduated from certain prestigious universities, it can unintentionally disadvantage applicants from equally competent but less renowned institutions. Or if the algorithm is designed to favor applicants with a continuous employment history, it can inadvertently discriminate against those who've taken career breaks, perhaps for family or health reasons. Furthermore, if an algorithm is trained on past successful hires who predominantly belong to a certain demographic, say males in their 30s, it can unintentionally favor applicants who fit that profile and disadvantage others. This can lead to a cycle of bias, where the same type of candidates are continually favored and others are consistently overlooked. The implications of this are far-reaching. It's not just about one applicant missing out on one job. It's about systemic bias that can perpetuate inequality in our society. It's about a lack of diversity in workplaces, which has been proven to hinder innovation and growth. The objective of a job application process is to find the most qualified candidate. But can we truly say that's the case when algorithms discriminate? It's a question we need to grapple with as we navigate the increasingly data-driven landscape of the employment sector. Healthcare, a sector where accuracy and fairness are of utmost importance. But what happens when the algorithms used in healthcare discriminate? Now let's delve into a real-life instance where a healthcare algorithm was found to be biased. This case study illustrates the serious implications of data discrimination in healthcare. Imagine a tool designed to predict which patients might get sick so that doctors could intervene early. Sounds like a great idea, right? Wrong. An algorithm used by a major health system was found to be biased. It was predicting that white patients were more likely to get sick than black patients, even when both had the same health conditions. This wasn't a small-scale problem. The algorithm was used on over 200,000 patients and was less likely to refer black patients to programs that aim to improve care for patients with complex medical needs. Now, you might be thinking, how could this happen? The answer lies in the data that the algorithm was trained on. It was designed to predict healthcare costs, not who would benefit from extra medical care. Since wealthier people, who are predominantly white, tend to spend more on healthcare, the algorithm assumed that they were sicker. The creators of the algorithm weren't intentionally racist. They wanted to help people. But their tool had unintended consequences because they didn't consider how social factors like income and race can influence healthcare costs. They simply fed the algorithm with data, and the algorithm learned from that data. This is a stark reminder that algorithms are not neutral. They learn from the data they are given. And if that data reflects societal biases, the algorithms will reproduce those biases, sometimes with devastating effects. The good news: once the bias was discovered, the health system worked to correct it. They retrained the algorithm using different data and managed to reduce the bias by more than 80%. When health outcomes are influenced by biased algorithms, we must question the fairness of our healthcare system. This case study serves as a wake-up call. We need to scrutinize the data we use to train algorithms, and we need to test them for bias. Because in healthcare, accuracy and fairness aren't just important, they're a matter of life and death. Your credit score, the interest rates you're offered, your financial opportunities, all determined by algorithms. But what if these algorithms discriminate? Let's examine a real-world example. There was a case where a global bank's algorithm was found to be discriminatory. The algorithm that was used to determine credit limits was giving higher credit limits to men compared to women with similar financial profiles. This disparity was not due to chance, but to the underlying data and the assumptions made by the algorithm. The algorithm was designed to analyze a person's financial history and predict their credit worthiness. However, it used historical data that reflected societal biases. For instance, it considered a person's occupation, which is often influenced by gender stereotypes, leading to lower credit limits for women. So what's the impact of such discrimination? Firstly, it affects individuals. A lower credit limit restricts a person's ability to make larger purchases or invest in opportunities. It can also lead to higher interest rates, increasing the cost of borrowing. In this case, women were disproportionately affected, limiting their financial freedom. Secondly, it affects communities. When certain groups are systematically disadvantaged, it perpetuates economic inequality. Over time, this can lead to a wealth gap between different groups in society. In this scenario, the wealth gap between men and women could widen due to the discriminatory practices of the algorithm. Lastly, it undermines trust. When people realize that they're being discriminated against, it erodes their trust in financial institutions. This can lead to a decrease in participation in the financial system, which is detrimental to the economy. This case is a stark reminder of the power and potential harm of algorithms. It's crucial to scrutinize these systems to ensure they promote fairness and equality. When financial futures are determined by biased algorithms, the promise of equal opportunity comes into question. Let's remember, algorithms are not neutral. They reflect the biases of the data they're trained on and the goals they're programmed to achieve. We must continually question and challenge these biases to ensure a fair financial future for all. Data discrimination, a problem of our digital age, but it's not an unsolvable one. Indeed, as we've seen, data discrimination can have far-reaching impacts on our lives, from job opportunities to healthcare and financial services. But there's hope. By addressing this issue head-on, we can pave the way for a more equitable data-driven society. Firstly, transparency in algorithm development is paramount. Algorithms are not neutral. They reflect the biases of those who create them. Therefore, it's crucial for developers to be open about their methodologies and the data sets they use. This transparency allows for scrutiny, making it easier to identify and rectify potential biases. Secondly, we need robust legislation to protect against data discrimination. This means laws that regulate how data is collected, used and shared. Such legislation should also provide avenues for redress for those affected by data discrimination. Think of it as a digital bill of rights, ensuring that our digital selves are treated with the same respect and fairness as our physical selves. Next, education plays a pivotal role. We need to raise awareness about data discrimination, not just among policymakers and tech professionals, but among the general public as well. After all, we are all stakeholders in the digital world. By understanding how data can be used and misused, we can all become more informed and vigilant digital citizens. And finally, we can't forget the role of innovation. Technological advancements can help us create more fair and unbiased algorithms. For instance, machine learning techniques can be used to detect and correct biases in data sets. So while technology is part of the problem, it's also part of the solution. As we navigate our data-driven world, let's strive for a future where algorithms serve us all, without discrimination. Together, we can make this vision a reality.